Well, there have been claims of branch stacking in Victoria, with a minister caught on tape gloating that he will decide who the next Premier is. 60 Minutes aired the claims last night with hidden camera vision and audio recordings in which it's claimed Victorian Minister Adam Somyurek handed out over thousands of dollars in secret cash drop-offs and used political advisors meant to be working for other MPs to stack branches with fake members and amass significant political power inside the Australian Labor Party. I'm going to show you a clip and a warning. This clip does contain severe coarse language.
This anonymous middle-aged man withdrawing cash from an ATM in the suburbs of Melbourne has no idea that for months now he's been watched. His name is Adam Somyurek. Most Australians have never heard of him, but he wears several hats. He's Victoria's Minister for Local Government and Small Business. The title he's worked hardest to achieve, though, and the one he desperately wants to keep, is most influential man in the Australian Labor Party. Just ask him.
I'm the fucking minister. I'm the most powerful man. I'm keeping on.
Anyone who's anybody in Australian Labor politics knows the name Adam Somyurek.
But tonight, Adam Somyurek's in for a shock as we expose the rotten and corrupt operation this Labor heavyweight runs. Adam Somyurek's quest for supremacy has now backfired because he's become the target of a year-long covert surveillance operation. 60 Minutes and The Age newspaper have obtained more than 100 audio and video surveillance files. It's undeniable evidence which lays bare the dirty underbelly of the ALP. What we reveal is as audacious as it is wrong. It includes corruption and cash drop-offs.
It's just an incredible compilation of damning material.
Fake ALP members and orders to forge signatures.
Commonly carries a heavy jail sentence, not months, years.
Taxpayer-funded rorting.
The guy got a $30,000 fucking pay rise. It's because of a factional thing, and we're in a state of war.
And politicians turned into puppets.
We're going to take over. I'm going to fucking knock her fucking head off. She's a fucking psycho bitch.
By Labor's faceless man.
Oh, we just spraying the joint. It's who I say is going to be the fucking Premier.
Extraordinary stuff. Former Senator Sam Dastyari, who appears on this show every week to cut through the political spin, appeared in the program last night and joins us now. Sam, this story has certainly made headlines today.
It was. So a few weeks ago, 60 Minutes contacted me and said, look, we just want a bit of background kind of conversation around the Labor Party. And I knew it was going to be directed towards Adam Somyurek and that, but look, no one knew the extent of the footage they had. Hours and hours of private footage where you touched on, there was so much to touch on, even that little kind of bite couldn't touch on it all. Swearing about the Premier, abusing female members of Parliament, signing up fake members of the Labor Party, and actual footage of forging signatures, removing cash from bank tellers. Even by the 1970s standard of the worst Labor Party, this wouldn't cut mustard.
Well, look, it didn't take long for Somyurek to say he resigned this morning. That was completely contradicted.
It didn't work.
Sorry, Sam?
Things are pretty bad when you offer to resign and the Premier says, get fucked, I'm sacking you.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Dan Andrews was having none of that. No glorious exit, no respect. Dan Andrews made it very clear he was sacked.
At just after 9 a.m. this morning, I met with Adam Somyurek and I informed him that I would be writing to the Governor to terminate his commission as a minister, to essentially sack him from my ministry. That letter was sent moments later and the Governor has accepted that advice and Mr Somyurek is no longer a Minister of the Crown. I also informed him that it was my intention to write to the National Executive via the National Secretary of the Australian Labor Party and seek from them a termination of Mr Somyurek's membership of the Australian Labor Party. That letter has been sent, and it is my expectation that the National Executive will agree to terminate Mr Somyurek's membership of the Australian Labor Party. I also want to be very clear with you that I now regard Mr Somyurek as no longer a member of the Victorian Parliamentary Labor Party, no longer a member of my team, my caucus, my government. I have also asked the Attorney-General to refer all of these matters, as canvassed last night on the television and in various newspaper reports today, to both Victoria Police and to IBAC. And the Attorney-General has written in those terms, those referrals have been made.
Sam,
that's not
language
good.
from a politician doesn't get much stronger than that.
No, that's not good. I mean, look, let's be honest. He's out of the Labor Party. That's going to be inevitability. He was going to be out of the ministry the second he, quote unquote, swore about the Premier, and let alone some female ministers. His big problem now is what crimes has he committed? The Victorian laws, allegedly. No, well, the question is whether he did or didn't, right? Victorian laws are obviously different than laws in other states about whether or not whether there's fraud there, whether there's misuse of public money. These are obviously questions for the police, and they'll look into them. But he's in a world of pain, and the bit that's I think a bit alarming is you never normally have this kind of footage. So the office of the Federal Member of Parliament, Anthony Byrne, this has all kind of come out this morning, was involved in recording all of these events. How legal that was or wasn't, I suppose, is for others. To what extent are you allowed to record people without their knowledge that they're being recorded? Telephone conversation. It's different in different states. That's going to be something that will be disputed. So on one hand, he's got this legal argument about this is, how did you get this information? Is this information right? But let's not pussyfoot around this. In the court of public opinion, that counts for nothing.
Yeah.
He's dead as a duck.
He's dead man walking in the court of public opinion.
Well, I mean, look, it's okay. Branch stacking is not new, right? And recruitment in political parties to win numbers is not new. Normally, it gets a bit sketchy at the edges. So, I'll give you a sketchy example, right? I invite my cousins and my family to join the Labor Party simply to support me. Right?
Yeah.
Now, where's the line between, hey, I want to support my cousin or my family member, or, I'm a stack in the Labor Party? There are greys there, right? And then there's this other extreme, which is people don't know they're members of the Labor Party. They don't know who
Well, this is the key, isn't it? Because we saw in that he was asking people to forge signatures of family members and extended family. And so this is what we're talking about. It's forgery and misuse of public funds, isn't it? Are they the two headlines I should be taking out?
Definitely. Look, I'm not so sure about the misuse of public funds, because it looks like he spent his own money. But also, he was instructing these young staffers, and he saw footage of it, to go around and essentially break party rules and maybe in some cases break the law. If there's going to be anyone you feel sorry for in this, I think there's a bunch of kids in their 20s who were probably looking up to people who felt like, you do what you do in the crowd that you're in.
Yeah,
you look up to people.
But Sam, what I mean when I'm talking about the misuse of public funds, he had staffers paid for by the Parliament for the Labor Party that weren't actually doing the work they were employed to do, but were helping with this branch stacking.
Yeah, and look, again, there's the grey, and then this is not even that. So I'll tell you the grey area, right? It's quite common. If you work in politics, you live in politics, you have a career in politics, sure, you're likely to be engaged in the process still, and that means that maybe I'll zip out for an hour at lunch to go visit someone for a coffee, or I might, on a weekend or something, go out and hold a bit of a meeting. Those things happen. That's natural. This isn't that. This is people who appears were being paid simply and solely for the primary purpose of their job. And look, the problem for the Dan Andrews government is it's not going to stop here, right? There was a whole bunch of other ministers implicated. There's a question of who knew what, who knew this, who knew that. So I agreed to do this interview about a month or so ago. And I got to say, The Age and 60 Minutes did a pretty incredible job of keeping it very, very, very tight.
Because you didn't know the full story you were part of, did you?
No, I was there as an expert commentator on political scandals. Hard to believe why, probably because I'm friends with you. But so look, and it was just kind of a general kind of conversation. But yeah, look, let's be honest, right? As I said to someone else, if you ever get a phone call that says, hey, 60 Minutes is going to do a 1 hour special on you, it's not going to end well.
No, I did like the way he was writing it off. This will be good for business. They'll make me look like a powerful player.
Yeah.
The big issue facing now is Labor in Victoria and Labor for the rest of the country, because everyone's tarred with the same brush. We've had the party plagued by these scandals over the years. Why should voters trust the Labor Party?
Yeah, look, I mean, first, let's be honest, I think this is a bit of a plague on all your houses. I think public confidence in political parties is at rock bottom, whether you're
I
Labor
agree.
or whatever, right? I think unfortunately this is kind of a bit of, we expect it from the different parties. I think it's a particular problem for the Victorian Labor Party, and the quicker, you saw obviously Dan went as strongly as he could. The quicker you act, the tougher you act, the stronger you act, will lessen the bleed. But look, I mean, you saw it, there was a whole bunch of staffers, there was other ministers implicated. To what extent they did or didn't know about what was happening, you can just imagine the Victorian opposition is going to have a field day trying to get to the bottom of who knew what. But the story is, look, it's amazing how the media cycle works. So 8:30 p.m. last night, the story runs. By 9 o'clock, anyone who knows anything knows Somyurek's dead. And 12 hours later, it's kind of like, what's next? Who's implicated? Where do they go from here?
So that'll be the next part, isn't it? The media has its first scalp.
Yep.
Andrews came out looking like a good leader. So now it comes down to the fallout.
Yeah, and it's not good. If you're Dan Andrews, the last thing you want right now is to be talking. What's they going to say? The second you're talking about yourself, you're not talking about the electorate. You look like you're out of touch, and this is completely unhelpful. And I've got to say, it's been interesting because I think 60 Minutes is, in the past 3 weeks, 60 Minutes is a bit of hit and miss. So they
Definitely.
did a couple of weeks ago about Pete Evans that got slammed. There was this Cole Scanlon's piece a week or so ago, which was kind of I think the story was fine and the promo was a little bit sensational. And then here you had a fairly sensational promo, and my social media, because I have a political feed, was lit up with saying, oh, they're doing it again, they've got nothing. And you go, they got a fair bit.
Well, that's the problem when you lie to the viewers. I saw that promo, I went, yeah, what is it really? Turned out to be a cracker of a story. Sam, thank you for your insight.
That's why your ticker promos are always spot on. Your Ben Robin. I told you, if you had the proper promo you should have had, which is 2.5 gays, everyone would know what they're getting.
Sam, thank you. We will see you next week.
Thanks, mate. See ya.
It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo Show.